Welcome to the Chain Out Podcast with your hosts, Jeremy and Daryl.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 127 of the Chain Out Podcast. And you know what? It just feels right tonight. You got your favorite co-hosts, Jeremy and Daryl here. How's it going, Daryl?
It's going pretty good.
Yeah. You know why I say it just feels right?
Why does it feel just right?
Because we are back in the studio together. Did you miss me?
Did you miss me?
Of course I missed you. As much as you can miss, like food poisoning or no, just
a hole in the head. Yeah, okay, I get it.
Yeah, but not only am I back, but I did bring you a present.
Oh, you did bring me a present?
I brought you a present. Are you ready for it?
Is it going to be like all my Christmases come together at once?
Yeah, I know you don't like gifts from other people, but I thought you'd have a special exception for this one. So I don't know if you want to show that one off and talk about it.
It just feels so good, just holding it. This is you left on the back, right?
I did. It's fine.
It's okay. So we talked about it last week. Did we talk about it last week?
On Around the Basket.
It was on Around the Basket, yeah. So catch up, yeah. You can see one in front here, but you got me a T-Bird 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do like a T-Bird 3.
I knew you liked a T-Bird. I know it's not your favorite. You like your Thunderbirds and that, but...
You know what? I like all the birds. I like a T-Bird, a Thunderbird, a T-Bird 3, a Firebird.
Yeah. So I thought this one here is a Disc Golf Pro Tour one that was specific from their trailer.
Right.
And I thought it was a stamp that you might not be able to get elsewhere, and it was officially from the Pro Tour.
Halo Star T-Bird 3. And it's got... Somebody kind of drooled over it, Jeremy.
Yeah, I started out, I thought, you're a big Innova person. It's an Innova disc. I'm just going to get Innova FPOs on there for you.
Right, yeah.
And sweet. Then, Taylor was there and Holland Hanley. And I'm like, you like more than just Innova players. So
yeah. Sophia Donica, Kona Star Montgomery, Evelina Salonen.
Yes.
Taylor Chosick, Holland Hanley.
And the champion.
Hannah Blumross.
Yeah, the champion of Jonesboro themselves.
Look at that. Thank you very much. I like it. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You I can't wait to... Now that... Yeah, I know you haven't played much yet this year.
Right.
This is going to get you out. Oh, you won't throw that. Never. What am I talking about?
What makes you think I'm going to throw this?
Because it's got so many names. You know how good that thing's going to fly?
You know what? If you want me to throw it, I might throw it.
Yeah, you do what you do you.
Thank you.
You bet. Well, yeah. And I think I got back just in time for a little bit of winter. Hey, we kind of had was it our last winter weekend, do you think? What do you think?
Do you think so?
I don't know. I never know here.
It's Alberta. We really don't know. But this weekend was a big weekend for me. Mm-hmm. I got to run an event.
Ooh, you ran an event.
Yeah, my second time running an event. I've stepped up. I'm
going
up in levels. I ran a 3-disc event. This weekend was Edmonton Tag Team Championship.
It was kind of confusing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, we were hoping for sunny weather. We ended up getting the snow, but we did the USDGC doubles qualifier. Yeah, that was pretty exciting. We had a pretty good turnout. We maxed out. We got 71, then we had 70. And then we had 68, and then I think we ended up with 64 in the end, just because of the weather. The roads were so bad that a lot of people were dropping out. A couple of injuries, things like that. But all in all, it was a really good day. Congrats to the qualifier winners. Some of the listeners of the show were there, Jeremy.
And not only listeners, I think, were they maybe a couple even Team BR Disc Golf fellow members, hey?
Exactly, fellow members as well, yeah. We had MA2 winners, Mark Thompson and Tyler Edwards.
We know them.
Yeah, I got a story about them. I'll come back to them in a second.
Sure.
MA40 winners, Travis Bouchard and past president, Tim Plamondon.
Know them too.
Long-time player, first-time golfer.
Yeah.
That's what he said when he checked in.
I think he said that with the last time he commented. Long-time listener, first-time commenter.
Exactly. And then FA40 winners, Jana Olsen and Lindsay Monderman.
Oh, yeah.
They both won as well.
That's awesome.
So congrats to them. So for people that don't know, Mark and Tyler.
Yes.
Whenever they play doubles, do you know their team name?
I think it's something like every team named doubles. It's a entendre of some sort.
It's an entendre. It's a witty name. Yeah. Their name is
double meaning, not necessarily entendre.
Sure.
Yeah.
Their name is the Aceless Chaps.
Okay, entendre.
Entendre. They've had a few aces since they first came up with their name.
Yeah.
And coming into the final hole, they were playing obviously with the people that were in second, and I think they were like 3 shots back. Oh. And the other team that was with them as well, they said, well, you know what? The only way we're going to catch you is if we throw an ace in right now. And Mark said, well, it's okay. We don't have to worry about you guys throwing in because you're aceless. And Tyler presented to step up onto the tee and throw in an ace on the last hole.
It was the last hole?
It was their last hole of the day. They were 3 shots ahead. Mark threw his first shot, parked it pretty much, so gave Tyler the green light. Forehand. It wasn't a Luna.
Okay.
I forget which disc it was, but it wasn't a Luna. He did tell me. I did inquire because we know
Tyler he likes his Lunas.
Yeah. Forehanded it straight into the basket. So ended the round with an ace. So he ended up getting one of our Tour Series discs that we had to give out for CTPs. I figured it was appropriate to give him even though we didn't have an ace pot, hitting an ace to win the title. Even though they already had it locked in. So
well, and I hear too, because a lot of those people, USDGC doubles qualifier means that they have the opportunity to head down and be in the event. We've had players go down before.
Yeah.
Matt Dwyer and Scott Brimacombe have been in the past.
Yeah.
And I understand that both Tyler and Mark are intending to go as well and already looking at flights and such.
Absolutely.
So that'll be awesome for them.
Good time. So yeah, thanks to everybody for coming out and supporting that local event.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jeremy, for the last 2 years, we've highlighted the Canadian A-tier tournaments, and we'll be doing it again. We're doing it a little bit different this year, though.
We are?
Yeah, last 2 years, we would review or recap the event.
Yes, yeah.
And it always kind of seemed a little bit weird how we would talk about the event afterwards.
Yeah, it was always good to talk to the winners in that, but we were like, how does it help the tournament?
Felt like we weren't doing quite enough. So this year, we're going to run it back just a little bit differently. This year, we're going to speak to the tournament directors before the event.
Perfect.
Build up the hype. Make sure everyone knows how many spots are still available. We're going to be talking to tournament directors Rebecca Johnson and Noah Higgins. They are the TDs for this year's first A-tier, the spring runoff.
Yes.
Down in Lethbridge.
One of 2 happening that weekend because Foxwood Open is happening out east.
Right.
And then, spring runoff happening out west. So let's talk to Rebecca and Noah.
Exactly. Stay tuned because they'll be here roughly in about 15 minutes.
Yeah. And not only will we talk about spring runoff, we'll change gears towards the end of the conversation. And Noah has been on a roll as an MPO player.
Yeah.
So we might as well catch up with him and find out a little bit more about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we like to let you know that tonight's episode is brought to you through support from PDGA Canada. They've come to the table this year to help us out, and we really appreciate that. And we'd encourage you to get a PDGA membership if you don't have one, because it keeps funds in Canada when you compete in events and other things like that. And I'm just looking. The chat is blowing up.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It's blowing up in here, as Sam would say. So let's give a quick shout out. We got Sonia, Doc, Sam is always in the chat. Dean is in the chat. We got Kevin Toppin making a comeback. We haven't seen you for a while, Kevin.
Welcome back.
Nice to see you. Mike is in the chat. Death Putt Disc Dice.
Sweet.
Finally making it to a live episode, he says. So good to have you here.
That's a long-time listener, first-time live listener or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, and Doc is on the chat if I haven't already mentioned
Doc,
him.
good to see you.
Yeah.
Was back in your country last week, so.
They're kind of talking about team names.
Cool.
Sam likes branch managers.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's always a good one. There was a branch managers there this weekend, so
Nice.
yeah.
Well, speaking of tournament team names and
Exactly.
tournaments, should
Yeah.
we do some
Let's
reviews?
do a recap of the past weekend's events in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
There were 16 events this past weekend in Canada. All the normal suspects: BC, AB, MB, ON, QC, NS.
Yeah, do you know? Are you really good with your two-letter provinces? Could you do them all? Do you think you'd know which all those were?
Oh, I know what those are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we have British Columbia, Alberta, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, and Nova Scotia.
Oh man, you're on
go.
fire.
Yeah. We had doubles tournaments. We had junior tournaments. We even had a Berg versus the World. Berg versus the World being a 2-speed or slower event.
I heard on that one that Berg took it down.
Oh,
That's
really?
the rumor I heard.
Yeah, it's always a Berg.
Yeah, that's what we hear.
Well, there was Zoe Andike and Dustin Keegan. They came up to Kamloops this past weekend. They were representing Uplay, putting on some disc golf events up there. But let's focus on a tournament. Mm-hmm. Did you want to say something?
I was just going to say, I knew that Zoe and Dustin were coming up for Tournament Capital Open in June. So that's 2 trips they've got coming up to Kamloops. So they aren't afraid to come up to Canada.
Carrie's got a bit of a pull.
Yeah, she might have a little bit of a connection.
Yeah, exactly. Well, why don't we focus on a different tournament, but actually focus on a tournament that one of our sponsors was part of.
Ooh.
That's always good when we can shout out that, right? The Disc Republic Spring Fling. That was a 1-day... Yes, that was a 1-day C-tier over the weekend. It took place at Kilcona Lakes. That's number 3 rated course in 2024 and a number 4 rated course in 2025.
Yeah.
We reached out to tournament directors Nick Briere and Eric Giesbrick. They said that the weather was very weird.
Oh.
Yeah, they had lots of wind, some snow, and they even had some snowflakes as well.
How is that weird? Isn't that just Canada?
That's
Western Canada?
That's just Alberta weather.
Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba.
MPO winner Bryce Krauscher came back from 3rd card.
Wow.
Yeah, with a bogey-free 1036 rated -9 round. Robbie Friesen and Bryce himself had to make a tough decision on hole 21.
Oh, I think I made a problem in there with it. It wasn't Bryce. It was Eric. It was Robbie Friesen and then Eric Giesbrick himself, one of the
Right.
tournament directors.
Okay, that would make sense.
That's on me. Yeah.
Well, they had to make a tough decision because they were obviously on lead card. They got on to the final hole. They had a tough double mando straight into a headwind. They had to make a decision. Do they go for it and take the birdie, or do they try and play safe and get the par? They ended up playing it safe. They took the par. They're not sure if Bryce would have birdied his last hole from 3rd card. He ended up birding it and took the win outright anyway. Congrats to MA1, Justin Kummer, comfortably taking down the win, even though 2nd place Anton Sorka threw in from a 200-foot. He threw in 200 feet to get an eagle.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Anytime you get
Any
an eagle.
eagle, but a
those elusive
200 foot.
eagles.
Usually I get if you don't know what the elusive eagle's about, just wait until we get into the tournament.
It's going to be different this year. Anyway, MA2, Paul Yarsma won by 12 strokes and shot 44 points above his rating. There were 4 females playing in this event. We had FA40 winner Shannon Davison. Shout out to her and the other fellow FA40 competitor Susan, as they both shot above their ratings both rounds. Yeah. FA4 winner Ruth Conrad. And why not give a shout out to our own Dina Talgoy, who finished tied for 6th in MA4.
Oh, in MA4, eh?
Yeah. If you want to hear about your event, or if you one that you've played in, or a part of this tournament review segment, send us an email or send us a message on socials. chainoutpodcast@gmail.com.
That's right. We always like highlighting. I think this is a great ad that we've put in there because there's so many good tournaments going on. We'd love to highlight them all, but if you want to help direct us because you think you had a great event or you were at one, let us know and we'll tell everybody about it so they're ready for it next year. Well, we're also excited for the biggest Canadian women's tournament happening this weekend right here in our little hometown of Edmonton, Alberta. That would be She's Up First, and it's taking place at Hermitage Park, one of our great courses in the city. There was so much interest this year, Daryl.
Yeah.
that they had to work to open up more spots to fill the wait list, and that's what they did. They've got 81 women registered to play, and we got players coming from British Columbia, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. There will even be a player from North Carolina coming.
Really?
That's what I saw. There's probably even some other ones. There's some people who are brand new players, so it doesn't show where they're from, so it could be even other parts unknown.
Yeah.
But great work on the whole team, including Kristen Swirls, Zoe Lorenz-Bozer, Jana Olsen, Terry Hong, Sarah Candelaria. We know that Sonia's on that team. Was there anyone else that you knew was on that team?
Kate
helping
Spencer,
her?
she's helping out.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a few other people as well.
So congrats to them for all the work they're putting into this event and getting a sellout here for the biggest event in Canada. Daryl and I will be there this weekend. We'll be volunteering in the morning, and then we're going to film the FPO lead card for round 2. And it'll be our first foray into filming a tournament. So we hope it turns out well, because we really want to help continue to share this tournament. And maybe next year it gets so big they need 2 courses. Could you imagine? Whew.
That's the plan. That would be lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's scoot through this pretty quickly here. The pro news. Last weekend, the pros were at the Kansas City Wide Open in Liberty, Missouri. It was a windy event. They even got some storms in the evening. The bad weather was expected to interfere on the final day, so the DGPT added a cut. That way, there were less players, and they were able to move tee times a bit earlier, get them finishing a bit earlier before the storm hit. And then they made another cut by making the final round only 9 holes.
Yeah.
I've never seen it cut the final round before.
Yeah, that was the one thing.
Not on purpose, anyway.
I know the FPOs always have to go out early in the morning, but in this case, it worked out okay for them. They got to play their full rounds, but MPOs, not so much.
Yeah, we had a new winner on the MPO side. Cole Redallen took down the win with a minus 23. 2 strokes better than second place players Ricky Wysocki and Calvin Heimberg. Gannon Burf placed 3rd, which is his first tournament this year that was not a first or a second.
Wow.
Yeah.
And on
It happens.
It does happen. He is human, apparently. And I think it was interesting. I was listening to a little bit of Tour Life, and it was before this tournament, and they were talking again and after winning Jonesboro, and they said, "Are you ever not going to be first or second?" He's like, "Yeah, it's going to happen." And sure enough, maybe Brody jinxed him, because it happened the next week. On the FPO side, Evelina Salonen took the win with a scorching hot -9 final round that tied her with the previous week's Jonesboro Open winner, Henna Blomroos. And the playoff that they went to only took 1 hole, and Evelina scored a birdie, Henna took a par, and that's how it finished. So, like, how do you do that? -9.
Yeah.
Crazy. We had Canadians there too, hey?
We did.
Do you want to start with Rebecca, or you want me
Go
to go
right ahead, yeah.
All right. Well, Rebecca Dawn, she was there. She finished tied 14th, shooting a 995 rated -5 round 3 that jumped her 7 spots and earned her 645 sweet
U.S. American dollars.
In that last round, she scored 8 birdies, including 2 turkeys. Now, Sophia Donica, she finished tied 7th with Katrina Allen, earning her 1,315 of those sweet U.S. American Mexican dollars, whatever they were, Daryl. Similar to Jonesboro, she had an awesome second round in the wind again, and she shot a -5 that was good for a 1,008 rated round. That's her second 1,000+ rated round in the last 2 weeks, and this was good enough to have her jump 6 spots and put her T2 when she went into that final day. She was on lead card. Awesome. So I think it's just a matter of time. She's gonna.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna see her win this year.
Knocking on the door.
Next tournament is this weekend in Waco, Texas. We've got both Rebecca and Sophia heading home for a bit of a break, so we will not have any Canadians there. But there's always still exciting things to see, and we'll talk about them.
Yeah.
Got 2 amazing sponsors that support Chain Out Podcast, and we'd love for you to support them too. That's BR Disc Golf and Disc Republic, 2 of the best stores in Canada. We've got a promo code called Chain Out, conveniently enough.
Exactly.
And if you use that on checkout, it helps support the podcast. Checked with BR Disc Golf and asked Brendan, now that he's back, what he's got going on. He's got a ton of Discmania that's going up on the site. Check it out. He's got a really good understable disc for me, Daryl, because I was thinking I got understable mid-ranges, I got understable distance drivers, but I don't have a good understable fairway driver for holes like hole 1 at Rundle and things like that, where I might want a little bit more distance to get around the Mando.
Okay.
So he's got an F9 there, a Kayak Point F9 that's got my name on it. Okay. Check it out and steal it before I do. That's fine. But 8.6 -5.5. It's almost like a Rolo in a fairway. So. Wow. And then on the Disc Republic side, Jason has the MVP arm retrievers on sale. They're the ones with the double claw hook on them, but they also have that rectangular one that you can kind of put into the water and pull a disc back. Almost, what do you call that? Scrub the bottom with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got those there. He's got those. And then also, too, the Discmania Q-Line discs have been going hot off the shelves, and he's still got a lot of them, FD, DD1, DD3, including pre-orders for Nicholas Antala's 2026 Major Champion DD3 available for pre-order.
Nice.
So yeah, we got all that going. And I think at this point, Daryl, we can talk about this beautiful disc afterwards, do you think?
I think so. We can get...
Yeah, and we'll talk about that. You can join us on Patreon afterwards. But let's get our guests. They're sitting there in the green room.
They've been waiting
We
patiently.
did not put enough food in there. We did not put enough drinks, and I don't
No.
want them to get antsy on us.
That's okay.
Are we good?
Yeah, no, we're good. We
Okay.
should get them right in here.
All right. Well, we've already had some C-tier tournaments, a lot of them, and B-tier tournaments happen in Canada, but our first A-tier tournament is just around the corner. It has been an Alberta staple for years and is run by two amazing tournament directors, plus a ton of other volunteers. One of them just happens to be one of Canada's best MPO players.
Yeah.
Join us in welcoming Rebecca Johnson and Noah Higgins to the podcast.
Hi guys,
Hey guys, how are you doing?
we're doing great. How are you?
Yeah, we're doing fantastic. How are things down in Lethbridge? I know I mentioned this past weekend we had some snow up here in Edmonton, but I think finally now we might be into spring. Are things starting to greening up down in Lethbridge?
Yeah, sure seems like it. I mean, looking out the window right now, I'm seeing nothing but blue sky, like 17 degrees, dead calm.
Oh,
No
good.
snow, obviously. So
Perfect.
it almost feels like summer at this point, to be honest.
Wow. Well, and I love that you said dead calm, because one of the things I've always been told and known is that Lethbridge is the windy city of Alberta. I know Edmonton's been getting more windy, but if we could get a sunny, warm summer-like day with no wind or a weekend for spring runoff, that would be amazing.
Yeah, hopefully that's not asking too much.
Asking for all of them in one weekend, because I think we've been there before where we've had a sunny day, a windy day, a snowy day. You get a little bit of everything most weekends. So,
Sure.
well, you know, the two of you were kind enough to join us last year to chat about spring runoff, and we thought, why not run it back and get everyone excited again for our first Canadian A-tier of 2026. So can we start, because some of our listeners, this might be the first time they've heard about spring runoff.
Yeah.
So let's give a little history on the event. When did the first spring runoff take place, and what year will we be on this year?
So the very first spring runoff was 2016, and it started out as a C tier. So this will be the 11th annual.
The
And
11th.
the second time we've run as an A tier.
Okay. I didn't realize it was only the second A tier. So, because I've been playing, this will be my third year. So I guess the first year was still B tier status at that point. So that's awesome that it's up to there.
Yeah. Well, we know the tournament is now a 3-day A-tier. It takes place over the May long weekend. This year, the event will be held at Aperture and Nicholas Sharon courses. Last year, we got to see some improvements to Aperture with 9 new tee pads, and we hear there's some more changes to the course as well this year. You want to tell us a little bit about those?
We actually have installed concrete tee pads on all 3 layouts at Nicholas Sharon.
Wow.
Great.
Yeah, so that's something that we're really excited about. We never quite thought we would see happen. So that's a major upgrade for the Nicholas Sharon course. And then over at Aperture, we're still just looking at those 9 concrete tee pads at the moment. But we have purchased turf in order to do the yellow layout.
Okay.
It's probably not going to be completed before spring runoff this year, but we're looking at having that done this season. And then we still need to find a way to finish that back 9 over there as well, with hopefully with some help from the U of L. But one step at a time. Those tee pads at Nicholas Sharon are a huge leap for us and for our players.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, we know, Noah, you've been playing there since you were young, and probably you've all of that worn out area on those tee pads, you've contributed to them. So it's nice to have those tee pads in there. Now, you said there's 3 different layouts, and it's an 18-hole course. So that's quite the undertaking. Now, some holes might share the same tee pad depending on what hole it is. How many tee pads did it work out to altogether that were poured?
It's 3 times 18, 54
Yeah.
tee pads. There's 3 tee pads on every single hole.
Wow. That is
Has
impressive.
has there always been 3 layouts there? I don't remember
Yeah.
when. Okay, we were talking
So
about this earlier.
the reds are the short layout, the whites are the in between, and the blues are the long layout. And we did, what was it, for sizes? Where I think we did 5 by 10 on the blues and whites, and then 4 by 8 feet on the red tee pads.
That's right.
Okay.
Right.
And as someone who's played there as long as you have, Noah, did you notice having that tee pad and having a little bit extra confidence in your run-ups in that? Did you notice a little more distance or anything on some of your shots on some of those holes?
Not necessarily. The biggest thing, like, I mean, on a dry, nice day like it is today here in Lethbridge, to be totally honest, it doesn't really matter. The grip is still fine. It's still the same. The biggest thing is, especially for spring runoff, often it rains. And then, the tee pads don't turn into a mud pit. And another huge factor that I think a lot of people don't realize or think about is when we're running tournaments, every single time we run a tournament at Nicholas Sharon, we have to go out and move every single tee pad to a fresh location that's not worn out in the ground. And then you have to measure the distance for every single tee pad for every hole to update it to the new tee pad. And then you have to go into the tournament manager on PDGA and change all the distances and change the course and change the layout. So the new tee pads makes it immensely easier for us because now it's a 100% set in stone layout that's going to be there forever.
Yeah.
And it's set in stone. We don't have to do anything in the back end. Even like just things like for prepping the course before the tournament, I don't have to go out and, like I said, move tee pads, but even just like flag them before. It could be kind of hard to find the tee pads if you hadn't played there before because they're just, the 1 foot wide kind of circle markers in the ground that are hard to see from a ways away. So it's much easier to navigate the course, and it's just so mumuch easier for us as TDs too.
Yeah.
That's great.
When you got the tee pads installed, did you put them in exactly the same spot as they were, or were you able to kind of adjust them a little bit and kind of give it a whole new fresh look?
Yeah, so the course has actually changed a little bit. I mean, I don't know if you guys know the holes right off the top of your head. But probably the biggest change is hole 5.
Okay.
Hole 5 was like the long par 3 kind of in the back of the park along the houses, just kind of in the field. Hole 5 now, the whites are where the blues used to be, and the blues are another like 150 feet farther back, and it's now a par 4.
Okay.
So there's that. Other than that, it's pretty much all the same except hole 10. I mean, you guys probably, for the blue layout, the long tees, hole 10 for spring runoff, we always play from across the lake and play that par 5. The normal layout just year round before, the blues were up over across the lake and they were still a shorter par 4. Now the permanent concrete tee pad is across the lake for the blues.
Oh, wow. That's the whole reason Daryl would not move up to MP anything
MP50.
was looking at that throw over the lake.
I think we didn't we find some sort of exemption to let people throw, like just take, you can go to the drop zone and just throw for free.
Yeah. Plus, we're going to have our MP50s play the whites this year and just reserve the blues for MPOs and MP40.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
Hole 3, I know we're kind of diving on the course here. Hole 5, was that the one where the blues had to aim through the trees?
The little tight gap in the trees, yeah.
So that's now the whites. Is that?
That's now the whites, but it's a par 4, not a par 3.
Right.
If it's any
I
consolation.
can't wait.
Good luck hitting that gap, Jeremy.
Yeah.
I've thrown it before. It's a tough one, but it's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, personally, as a member of the local disc club, I know what it takes to get approvals and things like that. We're putting new tee pads in a course here in Edmonton. Did the Lethbridge Club provide any funds for this, or was the city able to help out in any way getting the cost of the work done?
Yeah, so the club was able to get grant funding from the city for the majority of the cost of the tee pads.
Right.
And so the city of Lethbridge is a huge partner for us in this course. And of course, the LDGA board did all the work to get these tee pads in, and particularly our club president, Niles McMacken, deserves all the credit for pushing this through and being able to get this done. It's a major accomplishment. And so we're going to turn our sights now to the tee pads at Aperture, and then maybe some improvements down at Pinnacle Park as well. And, we'll just bite things off as they come to us. But
Yeah.
That's
we're
awesome.
actually able to, we did so well at Spring Runoff last year with our silent auction and our beer gardens and everything. We were able to give a little bit of money back to the club, and that went towards the tee pads as well. So.
Oh,
Right. Yeah.
you know what? That's a great lead-in, I would say.
Well, I
that-
was just going to say that I happened to play with Niles at the final round last year when I was down there, and yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a great lead in to start to talk about the tournament itself. So we know it's all about playing disc golf, but you do so many other things at Spring Runoff besides just the tournament play. And part of it is that silent auction and the beer gardens. Can we expect to have both of them back this year? And if so, what's the prizes look like for the silent auction so far?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have our Cold Garden Beverage Co. beer garden set up just like we did last year. And so we're hoping for some nice weather because that's a great viewing spot, especially for the pros throwing across the lake on hole 10. And the silent auction for sure. We've got lots of bags, lots of discs. We've got a portable basket and several other items that are going to go up. And everything will start Friday afternoon. All our vendors will be set up around 3 o'clock Friday afternoon. And we're going to have Bridge City Discs out from Saskatoon, JK out of Strathmore, and then, of course, Games Galore from here in Lethbridge. So we'll have disc vendors. We're also going to have Little Potato Disc Dies. It's going to be on site all weekend. So if you have any custom work you want done, those are your guys. And
Food trucks.
food truck, yeah, we'll have the pita pit back out this year at Nicholas Sharon, so that'll be great. And then you can also pick up some Uncle Jake's grip wax.
Okay.
So anything you need disc golf related is going to be at Nicholas Sharon Park on the May long weekend.
That's great. And I know I can give a tip that I learned last year. Wally schooled me a bit when it comes to the silent auction because you've got a lot of time to put your name down. But then at the very, very end, you better be there because
Yeah.
Wally's a sniper. And I'm sure there's other ones out there. So you got to be right there ready to go with your pencil. And
That $1 more.
yeah, get that, or 1 or 5 or whatever
Yeah.
you think's going to secure it for you. Because
I think we had a full tent in that last few minutes before the cutoff last year, people with pens in their hands. So.
Well, I'll be there this year for that because I was like, oh, I'm looking pretty good on a lot of these. And then I was like, how many did I win, Daryl? Did I get half a dozen? And it was like, nope.
Nope.
No, didn't win any. So I'll be ready this year. But starting out on Friday, there's also going to be, which has been the last couple of years, is there's a women's clinic. And we've got a new person doing the instructing this year. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so this year we invited our FPO champion from 2025, Jo Henderson out of Calgary. She's excited to be running our women's clinic this year. And of course, it is a WGE event. So we want to bring that extra bit of value for female players. And so it is free. And we'll be giving out some discs for all our participants of that as well. And that's going to go at 6:30 on Friday night at Nicholas Sharon Park. And that'll run for about 45 minutes.
Okay. And has Jo talked about, we know how wonderful Jo is of a player and social media presence and everything else. Has she said much about what she's planning to teach, or is it going to be dependent on who's there? Or
She hasn't told me too much about what she has on her agenda, but I know that Jo will bring a lot of energy and 45 minutes of great instruction and enthusiasm. So this clinic is open for all to participate. You don't have to be registered for Spring Runoff to come and enjoy this. So we would welcome everyone just to come and join at 6:30.
okay.
Awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And then moving on to Saturday, we know Saturday is the first round of play, but then in the evening, there's going to be a great opportunity because you're going to have the long drive competition taking place right on hole 1 at Nick Sharon as well, right just outside the tournament central there. For people that don't know, haven't watched the long drive, how does it work?
Well, basically, you just sign up. If you haven't signed up through your registration, you can still bring your $10 out and sign up on the spot. And then everybody gets their turn to throw. I can't remember if we did 1 or 2. I think we actually ended up canceling last year because it was pouring rain.
Right.
But we've got 3 separate divisions for that. We'll have our sort of A pool, B pool, and then a separate division for women. And then we pay out cash. So it's 70-30 first and second place.
Same goes for the putting contest.
And yeah, same goes for the putting contest. And
Right.
for that, you can drop by the big tent anytime on Saturday or Sunday between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. and take your shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hole one is such a great place to have it. You've got such a the path runs right along the tee pad area, just kind of almost right down to where a lot of the pros are going to be landing.
Mm-hmm.
Great view as you see the disc coming over the horizon down. You get to see a great view.
Can bite your nails when you see
Yeah.
someone decide whether they're going to try and clear the road and hang it over the road that runs alongside the
Yeah.
hole, and hopefully it
Yeah.
comes back and hyzers back.
Hopefully,
because
yeah, it does.
sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, bring your camping chairs, come watch, or you can watch from the beer gardens if that's your preference.
Yeah.
And yeah, you do have to keep it in bounds. So
Yeah. Well, one of the ones that I haven't had a chance to participate in, and I'm going to look to see if I can this year, is that there's also a doubles event on one of the nights, and that's at a different course. So I'm not familiar with the Polytechnic one. Is that one more of a pitch and putt, or what do you think about that one, Noah?
Yeah, the Lethbridge, I call it Lethbridge College. Anyways,
Yeah.
they changed the name of the school there. It's Polytechnic now.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a shorter 9-hole beginner kind of more pitch and putt course. Like the longest hole you'll find is like 300 feet. They go all
Okay.
the way down to like 150 feet. Yeah, super fun course. I go out there and play all the time when I just have it itch to go play 9 holes, or if I just want to try and get aces. That's fun to go out there and rip around out there. Yeah, super fun event. Really like that course.
Cool.
yeah,
And
and there'll
do,
be lots of prizes. It's always a lot of fun, and it's just for fun. It's just casual, nothing on the line, just a couple of prizes, and yeah, it's really quick. There's only 9 holes on the course. I think they maybe go around twice, but
okay.
you don't have to sign up either. You can just show up for that one.
Gotcha. And do I have to bring a friend, or will you find a friend for me to play with me?
You can bring a friend, or we will find you a friend.
Okay.
If you have
Sounds
no
good.
friend.
Awesome. That's perfect.
Yeah.
And then I guess what do we got there? Then you got the final round there happening too. Hey,
Go
Joe?
ahead.
Yeah, and that takes place on Monday with the trophies awarded early and time for everyone to make the drive back home. So that's a pretty good one. And when you mentioned about the putting earlier there, I remember last year it was kind of a straightforward, putt from this distance, putt from this distance. Is that what we can expect again this year, or are you going to get creative with some of the putts?
I think because we're doing it at Tournament Central, we want to just keep the format really simple. So we'll just do 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, and do points that way. And that reminds me also, I should let folks know that we're moving our warm-up area to the other side of the parking lot this year.
Oh,
Normally it's right there at Tournament Central, but we found that that's a little bit disruptive for people who are teeing off, particularly on the whites and the blues. And we're always yelling at people to hold their putts. We don't want to yell at anyone. So we're just going to set up our baskets and our nets just on the other side of the parking there towards hole 10.
Oh, that's a good feedback and a good decision, I think, too.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We're also setting up an OB there on hole 1, which we didn't have last year, that'll encompass the beer gardens and Tournament Central, because we did have someone throw into the beer gardens last year and have to play from in there. So that's no fun.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There was a few questionable throws on hole one.
one,
Some
yeah.
some from the blues, some from the whites. Yeah.
We saw a couple of them.
Yeah. Exactly. We made a couple of them.
We
Yeah.
did, too.
Spring Runoff always has some great AM players packs. Can you share anything about the AM player packs this year?
Sure, yeah. So just like last year, we're going to do tournament stamped discs for everybody. And then we're also getting the Spring Runoff hoodies and Spring Runoff shirts for everybody. And those are Under Armour. We're going to change up our color scheme a little bit this year, kind of going with more of a subdued theme like blues and grays. And then we're also going to have stock discs for everybody, as well as some NADGT items. So we're getting beanies and poncho balls. And then we're also going to have some Uncle Jake's grip wax for everybody. So, and then if you're one of our female players, this is a WGE event. So we did make some special custom items just for you guys, and those will go to our FPOs as well.
Cool.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, most events you get like a disc and a chalk bag or something.
Maybe.
You
Yeah.
don't need to bring any clothes. You get all the clothes provided for you. You might,
And
you
having
don't
that-
need to bring pants.
Well, that poncho, if
Yeah.
it does,
I
it's
know.
not going to,
Oh.
but if it does,
If it
we'll
does,
be all
right.
set.
I know we've talked to
Yeah.
Kevin before, and he mentioned about those little poncho bowls that he thought they were great giveaways. So that
Yeah. Well, in one
Yeah,
last,
they're-
go ahead.
I was just going to say the poncho balls are great. I just hope we don't need them.
I agree. Hopefully, we're just playing catch with them or something like that.
hacky sack.
Yeah. One of the other things I've learned over these last couple of years too is that there's so much great food in Lethbridge as well. So I'm going to make sure to people know is that when you're there, you got to get out there and try some things. Obviously, last year you had the Backstreet Pub supporting. I don't know if they're supporting again this year, but one of our favorite places is we've gone to Two Guys in a Pizza Place every time we go down, and man, that place is killer. So that's just one of many, and hopefully there's still. In the past, there's been a playoff run going when we've been down there.
Right,
Maybe,
that's true,
maybe
yeah.
we'll be able to witness that
Yeah.
again.
Well, and just a side note, Two Guys has some of the best gluten-free pizza in town.
Oh,
Anybody's looking for that. But
Okay.
we have lots of options on the west side as well. We do have Backstreet Pub just across from Hole 15, and then just around the corner from that is the Duke. And then there's all kinds of other options, fast food, sit-down restaurants, whatever you can dream up, you can find in Lethbridge for sure. And even if you drive across town, nothing is too far away.
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we've kind of managed to cover everything that's happening this weekend. There's so many activities. I think we've covered it all. Last time we checked, there was 54 open spots available, 10 in the amateur divisions, 44 still in the pro divisions. Do you expect any spots to kind of move back and forth between the two divisions?
So because we have 2 courses and 3 days and we're running tee times, we can fit in a lot of players. But our cap for AMS is 110, and that's not going to change because we want to make sure that all of our amateur players get a full players pack. And of course, at some point we had to pull the trigger on ordering all that stuff without trying to overspend or underspend, kind of based on where we thought our numbers were going to land. So there are 10 amateur spots left. When they're gone, that's it. Although I would encourage people to sign up for the wait list if all those spots do fill up, because there are always a few people that drop out at the last minute. And so we would have that room. So definitely sign up for the wait list. If it does fill up, there's still 7 or 8 days left to register. But yeah, no guarantees. If you want to play, I wouldn't wait too much longer.
Yeah.
And on the pro side, we can definitely fit in some more. But at some point, we will stop taking those registrations too. The official cutoff is May 7th.
Okay.
Well, if there's anybody like me that made the jump from MA40 to MP40 a little bit last year, if you're on the AM and you don't want to wait, you don't want to join the wait list, you can always go over to the pro side as well.
Yeah, and we would definitely encourage people to do that. There's no harm in that for sure.
And if you want to keep your amateur status, just don't take cash. Don't play well enough to accept cash.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or just let us know if you don't want to accept cash, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
And I think really the big thing, and Noah, you might know a little bit more on that, is that if you are an AM and you play in pro, the reason that you wouldn't accept cash is so that you still have the opportunity to play AM Worlds. Is that the main reason people would do that, or?
Yeah, usually, or like if you're a young, like up and coming kid, you're 16 years old and you're trying to go to like junior worlds. I think you can accept. I don't know. I mean, it's been a long time for me since I haven't accepted cash at this point, so I don't remember completely. But I think you can accept up to like $3,000 or something before you lose your amateur status.
I think
don't quote me on that.
I think that's just for NADGT events.
Maybe.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Right.
All right, but either
Or
way
you-
is just don't
Yeah.
take cash and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, or even if you want to just try playing pro for one event,
Exactly.
and you want to be able to go back to it, just don't accept cash. And just because you're not accepting cash doesn't mean you're not going to get anything. You're going to get your value that you would have made in cash
Merchandise,
in merchandise.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So
That's
So
awesome.
So if you think playing that tight gap for a par 3 is too hard, go back further and try it for a par 4.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. Well, it would be great to see this event fill up. It's already almost there, and we encourage everyone to take a look and check it out. They can come out to the beer gardens. I'm more than happy to have a beer and celebrate with anybody who wants to show up. So I think it's going to be a fantastic event, and I know, and Daryl knows from experience, that you both and all of your volunteers put on quite the show. It's always so well run. So we're excited for it.
Yeah, and I should mention we are bringing on board another assistant TD this year. His name is Matt Mitten, and he's actually one of the original disc golfers from around here from way back in the day. And Matt actually lives on Nicholas Sharon Park. His back gate opens up onto, I think it's hole 5.
Okay.
So he's a great guy to have around to help us out, and he is going to be running the starter tent over at Aperture Park all weekend. So
Okay.
if you see Matt, make sure you give him a high five and thank him for all his hard work.
Yeah. I would say for Matt, for every volunteer you run into, we talk about that, the spotters and anyone else who's helping out in any capacity. These events don't happen if you don't have a good contingent of volunteers.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, let's just shift gears a little bit here, Noah, if we can. We'd love to chat to you about the great push that you've been making this year in the MPO side. It seems like last year you kind of hit your groove. You played 25 tournaments. You won 11 of them. You're on the podium for 7. You placed top 10 in 6 more. 3 of your wins were at Canadian A tiers. That's quite the impressive year that you had.
Yeah.
I'd say
What,
so.
what do you think changed in your game that allowed you to play such or make so much big improvement?
Yeah, I remember last year I had a really rough start to the year. I don't really know why, to be honest. Last year I won a couple months into the year. I won a little C tier in Cranbrook. I can't remember what it was called, but I played really good. I averaged like 10.35 or something like that. That really boosted my confidence. And really, ever since that little win in Cranbrook, I kind of took off. I won, like three A tiers last year. I won BC Open, I won TCO, and then I won the Gold Eagle Open in Saskatchewan. So that was amazing. Winning BC Open was by far the biggest win of my life. Qualified me to go to USDGC. I had a great time in South Carolina with Rebecca at USDGC. Unfortunately, I didn't play very well, but that's besides the point. It was an awesome experience, and really can't wait to be back because I'm sure it'll happen.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
That's the right outlook on it. And we were going to mention that about USDGC was, getting down there, playing that course that we've all watched and admired on TV, seeing some of those, famous holes. What did you think about it playing against that full DGPT MPO field? What was that like? Was that a different experience? Because I'm not sure if you've done it before, but it had been probably a while since you have.
Yeah, I've played a couple DGPT events before, and I'm fortunate enough that I know a decent amount of the touring pros, so it's not super far out of my comfort zone. But it's a blessing, and I always like playing at tournaments like that because I come from here where I'm more often than not I'm one of the higher rated players in the tournament, more a favorite to win, and I go down there and I'm at best middle of the pack. So playing down there is awesome. I got to play a couple practice rounds with Paul Macbeth, which is really cool.
Wow.
I'm good. I'm fairly decent buddies with Gannon Burr. We played Junior Worlds together quite a few times.
Right.
He's a year or two younger than me, but we would play at Junior Worlds and stuff when he was sponsored by Prodigy when he was a little kid. We would go to like team dinners and stuff. Yeah, so I know Gannon. I know a few of them. So yeah, it's really cool, and really like going to tournaments like that.
That's cool, some of those names that you're mentioning there, because we wouldn't have known that. All we did see, though, was that on one of your cards at that tournament, you got to play with Chris Dickerson. Another one, you got to play with Nate Sexton, who Daryl is now best friends with, I think, after Smith Lake Farms, or likes to think so. How did you enjoy spending some time and playing around with Nate?
That was great. Yeah, I actually played with Nate again last weekend in Oregon. I made lead card at the Resistance Discs Open. Nate's a great dude. He's got the same personality in person that he does on the, when you're listening to him on Jomez. So he doesn't switch up, and yeah, he's a great dude, great hang, really fun to play with, and obviously really cool to play with someone like that I look up to growing up. So super cool.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You kind of touched on it there a little bit earlier, getting your rating over 1,000. You shot those 1035 rated rounds. You finally got your rating back up over 1,000 again. You're the highest rated Alberta MPO. That had to be a pretty good feeling, right?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was super disappointing when I hit 1,000 a few years ago, and then dropped back down just after kind of a rough season. I'm back there this year. I personally think, and there's a fine line between maybe sounding a little bit cocky and also just knowing how good I can be. But I personally think that I'm a way better player than my current rating, and I have a much higher ceiling. So I'm not really satisfied with where I'm at the moment, to be totally honest with you.
Yeah.
I know in the next update in the next month, I'm losing some. I mentioned earlier I had a pretty rough start to last year, so I'll be losing some kind of stinker rounds off my rating that'll hopefully boost it a bit. Yeah, I'm really hoping to get to at least 10-10 by the end of the year.
All right. So your buddy Thomas better watch out if he thinks he's going to hold the Canadian highest MPO rating.
Yeah,
Him, Casey, Max, those guys.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah. Well, we obviously noticed, and I'm sure a lot of people around Canada noticed your rating going up, but somebody who did notice was Prodigy. They seemed to take great notice of you and obviously invited you up, and you stepped up to the core team for 2026. How did you find out about that, or how did that go? How did that all come about?
Keep it plain and simple. They sent me an email that says I was going to be on the core team this year. So,
Okay.
that was cool. I've actually got my, you guys probably saw my Signature Series FX4. I got one of them sitting right here.
Yeah.
I'll take a look at that. Anybody who's listening, Noah, like looking at that, it's got 2 sets of owls on it, kind of the front view of the owl with some angry eyes there, and then a full body owl. That looks great.
Yeah, there's a little Canadian touch in there. I don't know if you can see like the maple leafs on the owl's head.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it, but there's also a couple little hockey sticks coming out of its head too.
Sweet.
Canadian. So yeah, that's really cool. And then I've also got these ones
The goalie.
that are for sale in at tournaments this year if you catch me in person. So
Oh, nice. That's a moose
Prodigy
there.
does amazing things. I've been with them for 10 years now, and there's a reason for that. There's no coincidence that they've stuck with me and that I've stuck with them for 10 years. It's because they do great things. They treat me super well, and there's no reason to change it. It's keeping me happy and keeping me where I need to be, and they give me the support I need to perform at the best. So really, really appreciate Prodigy Disc and all they do for me.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or an underwhelming thing. I was expecting this to be like this big phone call.
Like Will Shoestrick calls me up, we go for dinner.
Yeah. And it was just an email. Hey.
Yeah, it's like getting a phone call that you're getting drafted into the NFL.
Exactly.
They send
Not
you a
quite.
new core team hat, you put it on your head.
Yeah, not quite, but still cool.
Yeah, exactly. Still great either way.
We better talk to Will. We'll teach him how it's done, right? Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Well, we've seen some of your posts. Obviously, you showed us the stamps there. They look pretty awesome. You mentioned there the Canadian touches in the owl there. Were they both done by Cobb Designs?
This one, the moose stamp, was done by Lane Mosel.
Okay.
Yeah. Mosel,
And then this one was done by him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
yeah.
Did you provide any input into it, or did they kind of just give you a sketch, or how does that whole process work?
Yeah, they're I don't know if you read up on them, but they're all focused around like your primal aura and what fuels you and motivates you, et cetera, et cetera. So I chose the owl. She's better at remembering this than me. What is the owl supposed to represent?
Noah chose the owl because it represents survival through harsh conditions.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with the fact that all your trophies were bird related.
No, not really. They are actually. I'm looking at them right now.
Yeah,
they all are. Yeah.
That's awesome. And you kind of mentioned it there. You'll be taking some discs with you, so if anyone sees you in person, you'll always have discs for sale. And I know we bought a couple from you last year when we were down there at the Tournament Central as well.
Oh, I'll tell you, my Fractal M4, Daryl was like, "You've got a new disc, don't you?" And I threw that thing, and it was the straightest disc I could throw. Like, I could say nothing better than that until I kind of folded it when I hit first available, like 20 feet ahead of me. And then once I folded it, it wasn't the same disc anymore.
I think those are baseball or base plastic.
Yeah.
But good wall hangers, but don't hit any trees with them.
No, but it was such a
worked for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't say I'll always have discs for sale. We ran the Birdie Chirp Open, which is kind of a fundraiser for my season a couple weeks ago here in Lethbridge. I only have 100 of these, and I sold almost half of them at that tournament.
Wow.
So they're going fast.
That's good.
I've got A2s, I've got F9s, I've got MX2s, and I've got PA5s.
All right. I was just talking about F9. So if you can, if there's a way to sneak one to the side there, hold one for me. Put my name on that. Yeah, and I'll pick it up down there. Awesome.
You got it.
Good stuff. Well, also, Noah, your 2026 season has started. It's already looking like you're just picking up where you left off. You know, you just had another recent win there. I'm a big goal setter. Have you set any goals for yourself for 2020 for your 2026 season?
Yeah, the main thing is the player rating. Probably try and get it to at least 10-10. Ideally, I'd like to at least win A tier this year. That's a good goal. I really wanted to go back to USDGC this year, but I don't think I'm actually going to get to play any USDGC qualifiers this year. Falcons Flight became a USDGC qualifier, which is amazing. But it's kind of unfortunate because I can't go, and none of the Team Canada members can go because it conflicts with the Team World Championships in Lithuania this year.
Right.
So I'll be missing, and I'll also be missing the Gold Eagle Open, which is unfortunate because that's a good Canadian A tier too. But probably try and win the one A tier at least, and get my rating up to 10-10. That's about it, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. And I know checking out the events that you are registered for, anybody in Western Canada, if you go to an event, Noah's likely going to be at it. For the most part, you seem to have a pretty full schedule. But as you mentioned, Lithuania is coming up in September. Is there still lots of work to do for that, or have you already booked flights and that type of thing, or how is it going for that trip?
Yeah, it's a lot of it's pretty much done and in the books. We booked our flights. We tried to get on that as soon as possible to get a decent price with the fuel prices going up and up and up. So we got on that, and we got some hotels booked. Still waiting on team accommodations, but that should come shortly. Other than that, just trying to raise some money through selling discs and whatnot, and clinics and stuff to pay for the trip, because unfortunately, disc golf just isn't there yet to support its athletes to not even make money, let alone just be able to afford to go without having to spend any money out of pocket. So it's a very expensive trip. It's cost thousands of dollars, and we're not made of money. So anything you can do to help buying discs, whatever, it helps a lot, and that'll help get us there. And hopefully we can bring home a gold medal for Canada this time.
Yeah,
that would be great. So as you said, ways that people could support you is pick up your discs. If they buy discs through Prodigy or from a disc store, do you still see some support that way as well?
Yeah. So we can buy. You can only get these FX4s online through Prodigy and retailers this year. I don't have these in person at all. I get a small portion of the proceeds from that. And then these Moose Stamp discs are $25 a piece. And I started with 100 of them. So if I can sell them all before my trip, that's $2,500 to go towards my trip, which is amazing. And then Jordan Allway will be setting up a little GoFundMe for both Joe and I as the Alberta representatives. I almost said representee. I don't know that's a word.
No, that's good. And you did say too, is you'll be putting on clinics from time to time as well. So that's another way people could probably support you. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, there's like, I think I might run a clinic at a tournament in Saskatchewan this year. There's nothing really scheduled yet, to be honest with you. But usually there's clinics that pop up that I'll run throughout the year for a small, spend $30, you get one of my discs, and you get 45 minutes of time to pick my brain on whatever you need. So just keep an eye out for stuff like that at tournaments that I'll be at. You never know when it might pop up.
Yeah.
We've seen in the past with Team Canada going for with diff, they have released some Team Canada stamped discs. With Sophia and Thomas, when they went out to China, they had some T-shirts available. Is there any word on any Team Canada merchandise that it might be available to kind of support the whole team?
I think I think it's still in the works, but I do think that that's coming down the pipe, so you can look for that as well.
Right.
Okay.
No matter what you want, if you want a disc, you want some T-shirts, you want some clinics, you want to get better at playing disc golf, any way you can support Team Canada to get out there and, like Noah said, take down that gold.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh.
And and on top of that too, with it is like, with you guys, what's that?
Just quickly.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
While we're still
Sure.
on it, question, kind of a comment from the chat. We know Sam has been down to Lethbridge. We mentioned to him before that he has been part of one of your clinics, and he says Noah's clinics are worth every penny.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah.
Glad to hear
Put
it.
that out there.
Well, and I think so. What I would think from it too, Noah, is that one of the things for you is you aren't Gannon Burr, right? You're not 6'4" with the longest arms in the world, but yet you can generate just as much power and throw just as far and to do all of those types of shots. So to me, I think that's a nice thing as well. So for us regular human beings, you can help us learn how to disc golf in a way that's going to work and allow us to maybe increase our distance.
You might be beyond help. I'm not too sure, but but if there's someone that can help you, it'll be Noah.
It'll be Noah. That's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah. Unfortunately, my mother is 5'2", so it's pretty hard for me to be 6'5".
Sorry, Teddy.
Yeah,
There's a no money back guarantee though.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Your rating will not be 1,000 rated after the clinic. So
No,
don't,
I'll need a number of those clinics. I'll pay
No
for the
refund.
next trip for WIFDIF with the number of clinics I'll
exactly.
need.
There you go.
There you go.
So no, it's going to be exciting to watch you guys go out there, and I'm so glad to see that you're going to be part of it. Joe's going to be a part of it. So beyond that, it's just going to be a great season to watch what Noah does. Hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excited.
100%.
mm-hmm.
Do you want to do the extra thing that we mentioned? Have we got time for that?
Yeah, I think you know
'Cause
what I think
Yeah,
so.
we
You
discussed
do it.
Okay.
You take it.
All right. So we've had you on the podcast a number of times, but I don't think we've actually ever had you on the podcast as a true out and out guest. We've always had you on as an A-tier winner or spring runoff TD. We've never actually had you on the podcast as a full guest. We've never really gone down this path. So it's only fitting that we've got a little bit extra time. If you've got some time, we'd like to share this moment with you.
Desert Island discs. Picture this. You've taken a relaxing cruise, however the ship goes down. You manage to swim to an island, and fortunately for you, there's an 18-hole disc golf course. Which 3 discs are you taking with you on the island?
So this is a part of the podcast that we reserve for our special guests. Not really.
I'm so privileged.
For all of our guests. You're on this fictitious. That's a hard word to say.
Yeah.
Fictitious cruise. You're sailing in the ocean. The ship goes down. You had your disc golf bag with you, which only had 3 discs in there. You managed to swim to this island where this disc golf course is. And don't worry, Rebecca, we're coming to you as well. So you get to pick 3 as well.
Oh, great.
Which 3 discs would you have with you to play a round of disc golf on this island until you get rescued?
For me, I guess depends on the course, but
We'll come to that.
I'm gonna take my FX4 because I actually find these FX4s, especially this new run, the Signature Series run, they go almost as far as my distance drivers. If I want to really get them out there, that's not really what I use them for, but can be used for that. So I'll take an FX4.
In which plastic?
500 Spectrum is what these are.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna take an A2. That's an absolute go-to for forehand, backhand, up shots, get out of jail shots and stuff. And then I'm gonna take a 300 Fractal PA1.
Ooh.
That's what I cut with, and I can also throw it hard, and it's torque resistant, and I can use it for gap hitting on shorter holes. So that's my
Okay.
treat.
Yeah. And Rebecca, how about you? You've heard Noah's 3 discs there. You've given you time to think about which 3 discs you might take with you.
Yeah, I don't think it would be any of those for me. I would have to have my Noah Higgins fractal plastic F7, of course,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and then just any M4 really,
Okay.
and probably either a PA5 or a P model US.
Okay.
You know, I like Noah's disc choices a lot,
Yeah.
but Rebecca's are the ones that I can throw.
Yeah. There you go. That's fair. Okay. I know there was an FX4 in there.
Yeah.
A P
There was
model
an
OS,
A2 as well,
a PA2, a PA5,
a PA1,
M4,
yeah.
and
and then an F7.
an
F7.
F7. Yeah.
Yeah.
The follow-up part to this is it can be a course that you've played, or it can be a bucket list course. If you could take any course that you would want to play and transport it to the island, that you'd have to play with those 3 discs, which course would you take to the island? And like we say, it can be a course that you've played, it can be your favorite course, or it can be one of those bucket lists.
I've played a lot of courses in my time at this
Yeah.
point. The one that's probably closest to my heart that comes to mind first thing would be Aspen Meadows West.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
West.
Well, we know you've already perfected that long right dog leg par 5,
Okay.
but you know, you could always practice a little more on that.
Oh, I think I've taken a 6 or worse on that hole like 3 years in a row now. So
Well, Daryl and I know what a 9 looks like on that one, I think.
there you go.
It's interesting to say, or to hear you say you take the West, not the East, because the West is typically kind of like the easier out of the two. I don't want to say it's easier, but the more forgiving, the more wide open.
Yeah, I think the West course is just more fun.
Yeah.
The East course
for
is
sure.
a better like pro level course for sure, but the West course is just more fun, and I like that you get a really tight wooded front 9 and then a wide open back 9. Kind of gives room to breathe after the front 9, and I just really like the West course honestly more. I'm probably one of the very few pros that's going to say that, but it's just the truth. I like the West course more.
Yeah. Before Noah finished his sentence there, I was just going to say, yeah, I'm with you, Noah. But then he said pros. So, yeah.
Well, I think he's right, though, as you come out of that wooded area, and
Yeah.
whether you played well or you played poorly, you then have that big shot with a little bit of curve down to the basket,
Yeah.
and there's usually wind coming at you. So then it's
Yeah.
like, okay, how did you like your front 9? You liked it? Now try and do it on the back 9, or you didn't like it? Don't worry, it's going to be totally different for the next 9.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And Rebecca, do you have a favorite course or a bucket list course that you'd like to play?
Well, what comes to mind for me is a course that we've only had the chance to play one time,
Okay.
but that I think we both really love to play again, and that is Järva in Stockholm.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's a new one on me.
Yeah, and I know Ale out in Sweden, we hear a lot about that. So what is it about Järva that you like so much?
Well, I mean, it's 27 holes. It's a big commitment. To play a round out there, it takes quite a while.
Yeah.
But it's just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, rolling hills and like it. The best way to describe Järva is you drive up and you feel like you're at a golf course, but
Oh.
it's not like a ball golf course. But like there's a driving range, there's putting greens,
Pro shop.
there's
Wow.
a pro shop. Like it's legit. It's pretty cool. And then the disc golf course is just amazing too.
Yeah.
So
So,
that's gonna.
so that would be the example of what we would strive for, and we'd love to see some Canadian courses get to that level. We've got some great courses, but if with a little bit of financial support, that's probably what can happen.
Totally.
I mean, you're stranded on
And
this
it is
island, so you've got plenty of time to play 27 holes, so that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, we're going to be there for a while. This is a good course to have.
Yeah.
For sure.
Awesome.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, yeah, that about wraps it up for us on the podcast. We've touched on the spring runoff. We touched on Noah and your new season. Is there anything else that we haven't mentioned at this point? Is there anyone else you want to give a shout out? Now is your chance.
I mean, obviously, I already, for me personally, thank Prodigy for their support. That's really all for me. Anyone who supports my season by buying discs, doing whatever, helping me get to Lithuania for Team Canada. and then back to spring runoff. Just anyone who shows up to play spring runoff, it's means a lot to us, and we put a lot of work into it. Rebecca spends like 10 months of the year working on spring runoff every single year. Like she's pretty much always working on it for next year. So yeah, that means a lot.
Yeah, and I guess you've got the link up there, but I would really love to shout out Prodigy Disc because it's the support of Prodigy Disc that really adds the value into the tournaments. Our players' packs are at 200% of net entry fee. And beyond Prodigy Disc, Cold Garden, they're a major sponsor. They come up and provide the beer gardens as well. PDGA Canada gives us tons of support. We've got a new sponsor this year here in Lethbridge Crossings. Dental stepped up in a big way, not just for spring runoff, but also to pay for the turf for Aperture Park tee pads.
Right.
All of it.
Wow.
And Games Galore, of course, comes out every single year, has been doing so since the beginning. So 11 years, always consistent, support from them. JK Disc come down year after year. They're going to be here again this year. Marchant's School of Sports in Toronto, that's who we work with for our apparel through Prodigy, and they always give us really, I think they would describe it as painful discounts, but good for our players for sure. And then Dunlop Ford here in Lethbridge, and look for their actually having some cars out on the course this year. Try not to hit them with your discs. But they're a major sponsor this year as well. CJOC here in Lethbridge has given us tons of free advertising. So if you tune into them, you might hear our spring runoff ad. And then Bridge City Discs out of Saskatoon. Warwick Printing does all our signs. Runner's Soul, Uncle Jake Strip Wax. And then last but not least, Little Potato Disc Dyes. Yeah. And then, of course, all of our whole sponsors as well, which I haven't even touched on. So these are the folks that make spring runoff what it is and make it possible for it to be a high-value tournament for everyone.
Wow. It's just awesome how much support the tournament's got, and it's going to be exciting.
And there's countless people that you probably haven't mentioned and behind the scenes, and like you said, all comes together to make a tournament happen.
Yeah. Well, we're excited to see you down in Lethbridge. I've even tried here. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to say Iki Grito, which is my Lithuanian for see you soon. So I'm practicing for it. So maybe I can catch a couple of the words when you guys are over there. But yeah, we'll see you down in Lethbridge in a few weeks. And thanks so much for coming on the show.
Perfect. Can't wait to see you guys down here.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks a lot. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Daryl?
Yeah.
I love that conversation. And you mentioned it earlier that we're trying to bring on the tournament directors and people from the events before.
Yeah.
So we can talk it up. And I don't know if you're sitting there in the chat right now and going, I wonder if I should go down to spring runoff. I hope we've helped convince you that it's well worth the trip. It's a 5.5 hour drive for us from Edmonton.
Yeah.
But I have no concerns because of how great of an event it is.
Right. I like the tee times. I like the 3-day event. Some people like it to be done in 2 days. I don't like so much playing 2 rounds in 1 day sometimes. Spread it out. Give me extra stuff to do. Give me the doubles tournament. Give me the putting competition. I did it last year. You did it. Like you said, you got the silent auction. I have a I don't have it on display right now, but I have a James Conrad stamped vault. I think it is like a.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a name for the type of die. It's a dyed disc.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got that. I've got a really great resistor with that taco bear that I love.
I have a. Who's the disc? I should have this prepped, but there's a disc golfer. I don't think he plays anymore, but he's an astronaut. Cam. I won one of his discs as well.
This is riveting.
I know, but I'm not.
But
so
they've
good
got
with the
lots
words.
of good items at the silent auction. You're right, and we've picked up some good ones to check that out. I'll be there. You're not quite registered at this point. It's up in the air whether you'll be coming. But playing MA40 again, check it out. We'll have a beer in the beer gardens. It'll be fantastic to do that together. And here you go. You got your discs.
Jaden Castro.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I won his astronaut
Nice.
team MVP. See, you should know him. And then, spring runoff disc from last year. All right, there you go. Had to find it.
Well, and speaking of discs that we have, we should quickly mention as well. We didn't get a time there because we wanted to make sure to get our guests on. But our next giveaway is going to be this Queen City Open disc or Queen City Classic disc that I got at Jonesboro. It is, what did I say it was? It was a Boss.
It's a Boss.
So that's a big Boss disc, but I don't know how many people are going to throw this one because it has most of the FPO's signatures on here.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a giveaway on that, and you're going to want to jump in there because it's going to probably have lots of entries for it. So watch for that. We did find a winner for our last giveaway, which was the Smith Lake Farms one from Clea. That was a Buzz 118 grams.
Did we mention that already? Did we say
Yeah, we
the weight?
did mention that.
Okay.
Yeah, 118 grams.
118.
We had a couple people guess Buzz. One was just a straight up and the other was an SS. So we're going to reach out to the first person who guessed Buzz and had the lowest weight. And we found them. They're a YouTube person.
Yeah.
So hopefully they listen and they're in the chat. And if not, maybe they know Clea. But if we can't get a hold of them, we'll go to the next Buzz guesser at that point.
Exactly. Sounds good.
So if it's Jack Bing, I think was the name on YouTube. So if you're listening, send us an email or a note on one of our socials and we'll make sure to connect and get you that Smith Lake Farms disc.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, and I think the other thing I'll say, last thing about Spring Runoff, Daryl, is that I've kind of trimmed down my tournaments to my official. I'll have other tournaments, but I'm having officially one a month.
Right.
And my May one is always Spring Runoff.
Yeah, exactly. Like we've said before, as much as Tundra Toss is like the kickoff to our season in Edmonton, it seems like we have Tundra Toss, and then there's a bit of a lull. And then if you happen to play in the USDGC doubles qualifier, there's that. But that's one day. It's an unsanctioned event. But really, when the season kicks off, when all the snow is gone, hopefully, and you're doing your first full tournament, it's Spring Runoff.
Yeah.
And 200% AMPAC value? Like, come on.
Yeah. And those the Cobb design and the Lane Mosolf design that Noah's got this year, those are great stamps. Great
we know
stamps.
about Lane Mosolf. Thank you very much.
He's a good guy. Looks after you. He's got a lot of good artwork.
Why did you sound like a New York cop then?
He'll look after you.
Lane Mosolf. He's a good guy, you know? Don't worry about it. He'll take care of you.
Yeah, he'll take care of you. And I think right now we should take care of the secret word.
I just want to say, don't... But you didn't hear it from me, okay?
I did not. I think everyone else did.
Secret word, I'm thinking FX2.
FX4.
FX4 even.
FX4, Owls, Hockey Moose.
Hockey Moose.
Goalie Moose, something like that.
Yeah. If you've got a secret word, drop it in the chat. Put it in the comments. Let us know you watched it all the way to the end of the episode. Don't just put the word in. Try and get creative. Put it in a sentence. Yep. And you never know. You might get a creative sentence back.
Oh, and speaking of comments in that, when you put that into YouTube, there was a gentleman that I met down in Jonesboro. I met a number of people, handed out some stickers, played some rounds. Wow. And the specific person said, hey, I drive truck for a living. I always need something to listen to. I'll check out your podcast. Listen to the last one. Put some comments in YouTube for us. And one of the comments that they mentioned was that when I mentioned that Eagle McMahon was at the Jonesboro Fly Mart, I said he brought a basket of discs, sold them all immediately, signed and took pictures, and then he was out as fast as he showed up.
Yeah.
I got corrected.
Oh.
He didn't
it wasn't Eagle.
No, it was Eagle, yeah.
Oh, it was Eagle.
He didn't sell those discs, Daryl. He gave them away. He just brought a whole bunch of stuff and in typical Eagle fashion, wanted to make people feel good, said, hey, I'm here. Do you want me to sign anything? Do you want to take a picture? And I brought these discs. Yeah, you just take one. Here you go.
Wow.
Gave them away. So I missed out on that.
Yeah. There you go. For, not wanting to be the fanboy, not wanting to be that guy.
I should have.
You should have. You could have snagged an Eagle McMahon, probably a drive. Is that the new one? Engine, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. Who knows?
So if you do see Eagle out there, don't expect it, but know that he's only going to be there quick and he might have things for free.
That's awesome. We were talking about first tournament. Sam says he's already 5 tournaments in, and he's got his 6th one this weekend.
Well, that's the Kamloops.
Of being in Kamloops, yeah.
With the gig ogres that Elizabeth and the crew put on out there, there's almost a tournament every weekend in Kamloops.
Secret word. Mark says Moose Higgins.
Oh, I like that.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like Moose Higgins. Death Putt Disc Die says that FX7 is flippy.
Yeah.
I can imagine it would be.
Yes, the the F7 would be the F9. I think even more because we were saying
Yeah.
-5.
Yeah.
That's
on a fairway driver. I've seen a -4, negative. Yeah.
Well, when you have an MA40 rubber arm like mine, and you throw a little bit hyzer, it's a straight disc.
There you go. I don't know what you're talking about. This is my straightest flying disc.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, join us here coming up on Around the Basket. Well, actually, before we even get to the Around the Basket part,
Yeah.
if you're listening this far, please head over and be another subscriber to our YouTube channel. It helps us grow the podcast and gets us out there, giving you more great content, more great guests. We're trying to do that mix of having great Canadian guests for you. We've now this year added a few, like Scott Stokely was on, Dallas Garber. We'll see if we can bring you some more touring pros from time to time.
I've seen your messages.
We're trying.
Something for Sam here. All I'm going to say is something for Sam in the chat. So we don't need to address it for the listeners.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Sounds good.
There you go.
Yeah. But then, after you've subscribed to YouTube, you've followed us on Facebook and befriended Jeremy Darrell. It's complicated, but be our friend anyways.
Yeah.
Jumped on Instagram. And if you went on X and TikTok, we don't even probably didn't know, but we'll figure that out too. Thank you for doing that. And then you can also join our Patreon. You can join at many different levels, including free. If you join at a paid level, you get some content that is ahead of time and sometimes special content that other people don't see, like our behind the scenes with Nate Sexton and Sophia Donica. And then also you get free entry into all of our contests, which also allows you to double dip if you enter the regular way.
Yeah.
So tonight, what are we going to talk about, Daryl?
Well, speaking of ATB, if you did get the link for ATB, stand by, because there will be another one being sent out, because apparently somebody put out the link for the Chain Out podcast.
Oh, okay. So
Why would
watch
they
for
do
that
that?
link. But we're going to talk about Sophia Donica's current hot streak going on right now. We need a pick for Waco, which is coming up right away. We'll tell you how we did in the last tournament in that hyzer flip. And then also, what else did we have in that, Daryl? Do you remember?
No, I think that. Oh, we were going to talk about coverage.
Oh, and our coverage too.
Yeah.
We need some help to make sure we do the right things at She's Up First and put out good coverage. So if you've got tips for us, let us know. We love to get interactive with you on Around the Basket. And I think that wraps us to the end. Us to the end.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Okay, so for people that want to join us over on ATB, check the link, because you should get a new link with the correct link.
And now we know that some people actually like to listen to the entire podcast, and then other people like to just tune in for this part. So
Nobody is tuning in just for this part.
oh, they love the people who love the cringe, the people who go, oh my gosh, they're not going to do it again, are they?
Nobody is tuning in on a Saturday, looking at YouTube, going to the Chain Out podcast episode,
And going
fast
the last
forwarding
5
to the
minutes.
last 5 minutes to be like, oh, I wonder what they're going to say this week in the drop.
I wonder if the Chain Out boys are going to drop some mad rap beats.
Is DJ Disc Golf ever going to get some beats to put underneath this?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, not this week.
And I might have to work on some Harry Mack style freestyle stuff.
Sam says he tunes out for this part.
Yeah, he does.
I can see that.
Yeah, he does. He turns it down. It's as low as it could be. It's like,
Exactly.
that probably is even worse just watching us without the words.
All right, should we get through this?
Let's get the drop.
We got to get through this.
Go for it.
All right. Spring runoffs here. That means 18. Yeah.
Do a record scratch.
What the heck was that? Spring runoffs here. That means A-tier season's alive.
Lethbridge is calling. Time to load up and drive.
3 days of disc golf. Yeah, you know it's legit.
From Aperture Lines to Nick Sharon's, we're gonna rip.
Rebecca's got it dialed. No detail is missed.
Noah's on fire, putting the MPOs on notice.
At 1,000 rated, he's the top Canadian pro.
You gotta get to a tournament just to see that guy throw.
Long drives, doubles, and a beer garden hang.
This is more than a tourney. It's a full weekend thang.
So pack up your bags and plan your route.
We'll see you in Lethbridge, and you'll see us. Chain-oot.
That was the English-Canadian version.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you later. Oh, don't want to finish. I want to hit this button over here. Where is it? There it is.